Mason, October is the month for spooky things.
Oh,
But really, it's towards the back end, so I think it should be October and a little bit of November. That's how Why is it just October? Do you know what I'm saying?
You want terror to continue over the course
all year round.
Wow. Wow, you're a monster, but all right. Hope this is leading somewhere. You're not just like...
It sort of is. Loot Crate, Mason.
Yes.
Because their theme for October is horror.
Oh, very appropriate.
Where you get a spine-tingling crate filled with classic and contemporary thrills and chills.
Yeah, I think there may be some Texas Chainsaw Massacre
There
in
is.
there, yeah.
There's some Nightmare on Elm Street,
Ooh.
Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Some of those are good. Who knows which ones? I don't remember.
Jason X, the one in space.
Yeah, that is a good
That's the
one.
good one.
I like that one. And The Walking Dead, which is really hot at the moment, Mason.
Oh,
both in
yes.
terms of comics and the TV shows, because there's two of them. One of which I watch.
Close to an endorsement as James will give.
But there's also they're doing Loot Gaming as well. We
Yeah.
get a Loot Gaming as
We get
well
a
a
Loot
month,
Gaming,
don't we?
yeah.
Which is great. And the one coming up, if you don't like spooky things because you're scared, like you don't.
Look,
like
I
being
don't like
scared-
spooky things, but it's not because I'm scared. It's just not a thing that I like, all right? I'm not scared. Who's telling you that I'm scared of things? I'm not. I'm tough.
Well, then you could get
Look at
in.
this dog here that'll protect me.
That's right. She's got crazy eyes. That comes with this month. Overwatch, Zelda, Titanfall 2,
Ooh.
and Sonic the Hedgehog. Some of those have good games. Actually, all of those
I think
have
all
good
those
games.
do have good games, yeah.
All of those have classic games. So that's very exciting. If you go to lootcrate.com/weeklyplanet, use the promo code weeklyplanet, one word, $3 off any box.
Yeah, and I'd just like to be clear, also not afraid of Sonic the Hedgehog. I know the rumour is spread about, but I'm not.
What about Shadow the Hedgehog?
Oh.
I'm with the show?
Yeah.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, official podcast of comicbookmovie.com, where we talk movies, comics, TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. With me as always, my co-host, Nick Mason.
It's me. I'm here.
Yeah, you are here.
What do you reckon about... I was just thinking about this on the way over.
Politics? Well, I've got some stuff now. What
Oh,
do you
no.
say?
Well, even more controversial. What do you think about this clown epidemic that's been happening recently?
I don't know. I feel like, is that something you'd be afraid of?
No, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of
You're
it.
a proponent?
I'm a big fan of weird internet things, like because it's spread via the internet.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Somebody's dressed as a crazy clown, and somebody else is like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll do that."
If a clown ran at you,
Yeah.
would you punch them in the face?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, right? It's you kind of got a license to do it.
I think so.
Because you're like, this isn't a real situation. I can technically do anything. You might have a knife. I don't know.
That's a lot of the time they do.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are people who've already taken it too far.
Oh, yeah.
And so there'll be some sort of like governments worldwide will start making anti-clown legislation. Or
Right,
whatever.
right.
But until then, I'm like, this is fun.
Well, clowns aren't fun anymore, are they?
In a way, they were never fun.
Well, yeah, because at a children's party now, nobody gets clowns. It's all superheroes.
It's all branded content. Yeah.
So that must be hard for like if you were like a legitimately good clown.
There was a Guardian article written by a legitimate clown, and he's like, "Stop! Don't judge everyone by the actions of just some of these clowns. They're not even real clowns."
I think
his name was like Bimalim Spim or something.
That hurts though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you'd have to transition into magician.
Oof.
No, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess
no one's
so.
afraid of a magician
Well,
necessarily. I mean, an evil magician,
Yeah,
like
I
an
know.
evil wizard,
I
maybe.
can bloody
Sure,
cut you in half.
that's a very good point.
Anyway, no, because I just read an article how there's a guy who's decided to start dressing as Batman and hunting down these clowns. See, now there's clown hunters happening. But also, here's
How
the
many
thing.
are there that he's knocking out clowns
I don't know.
every
I
night?
think, I don't know.
know
Probably
what I mean?
none. I think he's just in it for the publicity. But I
No.
mean, here's the thing though. If you, none of them are the Joker. They're like birthday clowns.
Yeah.
I feel he shouldn't be Batman. I feel he should be like, if he wants to be like some sort of armored superhero, he can do that. But don't be Batman.
Yeah, Batman doesn't beat up birthday clowns.
That's right, exactly. Anyway,
I'm trying to think. Sometimes he does.
remember at New Year's, and I was working, and I ran into that guy like dressed in a Hessian sack.
That's a
Wielding-
crowd favorite.
wielding-
Oh, that. I
Yeah.
thought you meant the clown in the van story.
Oh no, well, oh jeez, I'm like a clown magnet.
Seems
Remember,
that way.
New Year's I was at work and I drove past a guy
Yeah.
like all dressed in like Hessian sack, wielding flaming chains.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a harbinger of things to come. You know what I mean?
Potentially, yeah, absolutely. Well, someone's got to put a stop to it. Why not a guy dressed like Batman?
Yeah.
Or you.
Or that flaming chains guy.
Yeah. Also, if you punch a clown in the face, don't say we told you to.
Yeah, okay.
That's something that we may choose to do, but we don't endorse it. What are we doing here? Justice League.
You should punch a clown. Just punch some clowns.
Justice League.
Yes.
It's coming up. We
Yeah.
know that. We got a photo this week of Mera or
Yes.
Mura. How do you say it?
I say Mera?
Yeah, I say Mera as
Okay.
well.
That's a relief.
Thank
One of
God.
those things you don't see, you never say.
You never say it.
And
You
I was
only
like, oh, countdown to having to say it on a podcast forever. Oh no. Got to flip a coin. Where are we going to go with this?
That's right. So that's her from Justice League.
Yeah.
Now the
The,
Aquaman.
the wife of Aquaman.
Exactly.
And a person in her own
And a
right.
person, well, she is a character that tried to kill Aquaman initially.
Yeah.
Or say, Americans say Aquaman, but we don't say it like that because we say Aqua.
It's one of those things that
Yeah.
I used to say Aquaman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's no O in it, is there, Mason?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know that now.
But like the Aquaman, he isn't very comic accurate, which I'm okay with. I think he looks great. I think he'll do a great job. Put it that way. But this one is like that's dead on.
Very accurate,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it a lot. So what does that tell you about the movie, Mason? What does it tell you?
Nothing. It tells just literally nothing. She's like standing on some rocks.
Yep.
Or the shore or something.
The rocks of the shore. Yep.
She's probably going to wave him away.
Yeah.
As he goes to.
Or go with him because
Maybe.
she's also from the water. Mm-hmm. Man, what a world, eh? Mm-hmm. I wonder, you can't see. I wonder if she's got the eyes because you know his eyes are different because he's got underwater man eyes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
But you know, it remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. But I mean, she follows exactly the format of all these superheroes, which is kind of it's like the comics.
Yep.
It's got more like
Lines.
it's got more segments and lines.
Oh, okay, right.
A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
segments.
There is a lot of segments going on. Yeah. No, I like it. I think
Me too.
it's not a bad thing. Let's all press on.
Who is that actor?
That's Amber Heard,
Oh, it is too. Okay.
Johnny
right.
Depp's ex. I
Yes,
guess now.
very much so.
Yeah. I went to the Doctor Strange IMAX thing this week.
Thanks for the invite.
I tried to get you an invite. They said there was no room, but there was so much room. Like, so much. That was shockingly busy.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, crazy busy.
was it the Jam Factory?
No, it was at IMAX.
Oh, okay,
which is
sure.
even your side of town. It would have been easier for you to get there. Also, they didn't tick my name off. I just walked in.
You just walked in, right?
Yeah.
Hot tip for anyone who wants to sneak in on a movie premiere.
Just walk in.
Just walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed Benedict Cumberbatch because he did a little talk at the start. He's like, I'm an actor in this or whatever. I don't know. I missed it. What did he say? I don't know.
But not live.
No.
Okay.
Though in some places, I think they brought out the director and maybe him as well. Not here. In
Sure.
a more important part of the world. And
And when they couldn't get Cumberbatch, they just got Martin Freeman.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Who's more famous though? It's probably Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch.
Martin Freeman's done bigger movies though.
But I think he's a more famous that guy.
Oh, okay, right.
Like he's a very famous. Oh, it's the guy from the. I remember him from the Thing.
Martin Freeman is in one of the biggest movies of the year, Mason, and arguably the most pivotal part, Civil War.
That's true.
Did you forget he was in it?
No, he's the bloody administrator.
Yeah, he's the
He's
pen
the
pusher.
He's the bloody bean counter.
That's right.
And he does. You know what he does? He does a heck of a bit of acting towards the end when he's like, "Oh, you didn't do anything here, did you, Zemo?"
Yeah, and Zemo's like, "Well, I did."
And he's like, "Ooh." He
Yeah.
gives very good. Martin Freeman gives very good. Ooh.
Face?
I didn't think this through. Face.
No,
Ooh.
he didn't.
Shouldn't have been so smug. Face. Ooh. Now they're thinking my face. Face. Ooh. Yeah.
So yeah, look, it looked. I wish I didn't see it.
Oh well, good.
Because it was.
Well, thanks for not inviting me.
Well, it was
Sincerely. But I'm locked into this manner of speaking now and I can't get out of it. But genuinely, thanks for not inviting me.
Well, it was 10 minutes, I think, of the movie footage, and it was kind of.
But it's not the first 15
not the
minutes.
first-
It was
no.
15
Well, I'd
assorted
say
minutes.
it's closer to 10.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of, you get a bit of his origin. I guess minor spoiler alert, but all this is in the trailers as well.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
You know, you get him kind of seeing the Ancient One, and then you get some fucking head-spinningly trippy. I've never seen anything like it.
And this, okay, and you've seen the movie Inception.
Yes, it is like Inception times 100. Like and I love Inception. I think
Yeah,
Inception's great, but this is like next level. He's like tumbling through dimensions, and there's bits where he's like, his fingers grow hands, and then those hands on the fingers grow more hands, and he gets engulfed by hands. And I actually got, because it's on IMAX, and I'd recommend if you can see it on IMAX, I'd say probably do. I actually got vertigo, like slight sense of vertigo.
Wow, okay.
And I don't have like a weird crippling fear of heights or anything, but it was really, remember that bit in Ant-Man when he tumbles through the weird dimension?
Yes, I do.
It's like that. It's on acid.
Huh.
Yeah, so,
Or on steroids.
or on steroids, sure.
Or on something.
On something. But, you know, people might be like, oh, this is a good thing to get high and go and see.
Uh-huh.
probably don't.
Okay,
like
sure.
you will spin right
if it's going to
out.
be 2 hours of this, maybe
Yeah.
not. Okay.
But no, look, that side of it, I think it's going to be worth the price of
If
admission.
you
alone.
do, have a support network work with you and drink lots of water.
Orange juice, apparently, if you take mushrooms, apparently that's a good counterbalance.
Okay, right.
I don't know whether that's a fact, so don't quote me.
Yeah.
Look, the character stuff, he's very Tony Stark,
Yes.
quippy
isn't
and
he, though?
whatnot,
Yeah.
which I don't love, if I'm honest, but it's not. I
They
haven't
need
seen
a
the-
replacement.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think it is. I think they don't know how long Robert Downey Jr. is going to be, around.
Yeah.
I think they might be doing another Civil War down the line. I think we're going to be getting a follow-up, and maybe it'll be Captain Marvel.
Are people loving Civil War 2? In the
No,
comic
not
books?
overly. I was initially. I'm like, this is great, and now I'm like, this is fine. Like that was. That's how it went. It kind of got, and it's kind of like, who's fighting who for what reason? Like the line was very clear at the start of it, and in the original Civil War.
Yep.
But this, it's kind of gets real murky, but not in a like, oh, who's right or wrong. It's just who's with who. Like
Sure, okay,
that's,
right.
That's what it came down to. It's not terrible, but yeah. So I think we might get a Carol Danvers Doctor Strange one, or even a Carol Danvers Captain America or whoever. I think we're going to get another one.
Okay,
like
sure.
maybe 4 or 5 years from now.
Because ultimately what we actually want is superheroes fighting each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because what are they going to do? Fight Marvel villains?
They're just going to
Great.
tumble into a vortex or another dimension, as they always do, or
that's right.
something. Yeah. But look, I think this wasn't for me to see, because I'm going to see it regardless. But I guess
true.
it is, because then I tell people that it's good, I guess.
Yeah,
And some people listen. But apparently it's tracking really well opening weekend. It's something like 55 million to 75 million US opening, which is good for a character that nobody
What do they base that on, considering...
pre-ticket sales, and then it's times by whatever.
Oh, I see.
I don't know exactly.
good.
I'm not a mathematician, Mason. You know that about me.
Not even a mathematician. Maybe that's what this movie's for, mathematicians.
Yeah.
What are the magic effects looking like?
Amazing. Really, really good.
Does
The
it look
hand
like-
movements integrate really well with what he's doing.
Does it look like the magic is going to make any sense?
No. But what I saw an interview with Kevin Feige where he was talking about, I think it was him, maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, somebody at Marvel said it's not so much they don't need to explain the magic, they just need to have it make sense in the context of the universe.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Because I don't
yeah.
need to know how Thor's hammer works or
No, that's
whatever,
true. And I
yeah.
guess my point, my question was, if they're going to replace Iron Man with Doctor Strange, they're replacing technology with magic.
Yeah.
But I guess when you think about it, Iron Man's suit really does whatever it
It
wants.
does whatever,
Like
yeah.
there's ultimately no rules. It's just
Yeah.
got missiles and lasers and repulsors in it, and it can break up into bits or it doesn't, or it,
Yeah.
like it
He
ultimately,
can exit it from any direction.
any direction now, right? Yeah, you can slide out of the side. All
Yeah,
easy like.
that's
yeah.
right. Well, so go on.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
I was just going to say, there's a bit very Iron Man-esque where he tumbles off a balcony and the cape goes after him and
Yeah,
catches him.
right.
So that's very kind of Iron Man suit
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. So as long as there's some rules, as in terms of
Yeah, I think, there's obviously rules to magic. I'm not exactly sure what they
Yeah.
are. But I don't think that's going to be a problem.
yeah, and I also think in terms, like if you think of the first Iron Man movie,
Mm.
he is wearing a suit that is sort of bulletproof, but it isn't. But whatever. But narratively, that movie works because he builds the first suit.
Yeah.
It's destroyed. He builds a second suit. It has some problems. He overcomes the problems.
Yeah.
The villain builds his own, and then
Yeah.
he hasn't thought it through far enough.
Yeah.
Which is why that suit freezes up in upper atmosphere and blah blah blah.
Exactly.
So as long as there's some rules built at the start, and then they
Yes.
follow the rules, then it's fine.
Exactly. Also, there's hints at a larger villain in another dimension.
Like physically larger,
Yes.
like Egg Foo,
Like Egg Foo. Maybe. I couldn't exactly...
Devil Dinosaur,
I would
Is it
love to see
Mephisto?
that. Probably.
or Dormammu.
Yeah, well, probably. One of those, probably.
One of those guys.
They didn't look like anybody I knew, but
Okay.
it's all very Steve Ditko-esque.
Yep. Okay. Great.
For the visuals alone, it's going to be incredible. Who knows how everything else is going to play out.
Yeah.
But look, if you're listening to this, you're probably going to see it anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to see it? Maybe I won't get
I
you
am
a ticket to
no,
this either.
No, I'm listening to this. I'll buy it with my own hard-earned money.
Good stuff. You should. Well, Mason, speaking of buying things with your own hard-earned money,
Okay.
you're going to go see the Rogue One trailer movie? The movie? Because there was a trailer, but will you see the movie based off this trailer?
Yes.
Good. What about this trailer did you like?
Ah.
The new one. The-
Look, what I didn't like is we see Ben Mendelsohn's character like cowering in fear in front of Darth Vader,
Right.
which puts paid slightly to my my theory that he is a robot.
Is that the bit where he's all wet?
Yeah, and he's
That's
all,
not him. That's
Oh, there's a different guy.
the other dude.
Oh, then
the other.
my
old
theory's
man.
back on.
Yeah, he's but he does say some stuff.
Yeah.
not in an Australian accent. Mm-hmm. Boo.
Boo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's okay. How many things did you miss, Mason?
Most of the things, if I'm
Okay,
honest
if
with
you're
you.
perfectly honest.
Uh,
Did you miss that they said the title of the movie?
I didn't miss that. You can't miss that. And they put it in the middle of the trailer too,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Do you like that?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm sure there's a supercut online of everybody saying the title of the movie and the whatever.
The game is called Huzzah.
Yeah.
When somebody says the title of the movie in the movie, you stand up in the theater and you scream Huzzah.
Okay,
That's how it works.
Is that a real game, or is that something you made up?
No, somebody else made it up. I don't know.
Okay, good. Well, I like that a lot. I think, as with the other trailers, this has a really good sense of scale. Mm-hmm. Like, the shots of the Death Star are always kind of like, it's so close that it's kind of looming over you, or it's looming
Yep.
over a planet, or whatever. Even seeing Darth Vader like storm out of the fog or whatever, like it's I don't know. I think it's really interestingly shot. Like even the feet stomping of they're not AT-ATs. There's something else. They're a different variation on them, but whatever. But no, oh man, it looks incredible.
Do you think this has given enough people? Do you think this has given people enough information to kind of extrapolate the entire plot at this point?
Yes, if you look into it,
Yeah.
maybe. I think there'll be a few surprises along the way in terms of who dies. You know how
Yep.
they get. Yeah, I don't think. No, not too much. I think it's okay.
We get another Mads Mikkelsen role
Yes.
because he's what's his face?
What's his
in Doctor
face?
Strange. Do you think they're going to cut out that line? Because in the last Doctor Strange trailer,
Yeah.
we've mentioned the "Who's on first" jokey joke thing. Yeah. Do you think they're going to cut that out for
the movie.
I think they might.
It's one of those things that could be. It's like the Ant-Man line.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it. I don't like it
Yeah.
either or whatever. Was that in the movie? I don't
No, they took it
remember.
out.
They took it out, yeah. It's potentially.
Yeah. Anyway, so Mads Mikkelsen is
Galen Erso.
but he's not the designer of the Death Star.
He's
I feel he's the designer of the laser.
yeah, it's
in the
I
Death
think
Star.
I think it is that way. Well, there's a prequel book coming out which I will read. It's called Catalyst. And it comes out this time next month.
Okay.
Where it chronicles his family's kind of journey. And what the synopsis of it is. So I guess it's a minor spoiler, but not really. It's a book. You can't spoil a book, can you?
No, there's no way. I mean, you can open it up and see words, but what do those words mean?
They're all jumbled, aren't they?
They're all jumbled about.
But he's in energy research and
Okay,
energy
sure.
focusing, and the Separatists, because if you remember in the Clone Wars, there's the two sides.
Yep.
They try to kidnap him, presumably to use his technology, and then Krennic, who's Mendo, saves him, and he's kind of indebted to the Empire.
Right,
So
okay.
then Mendo goes to find him and is like, well,
We couldn't get the laser to work.
Yeah.
We built this big space station. We're like, it's kind of pointless. What could we put in there? Put in the middle of it.
I don't think it was. I think they built the station around the laser.
Okay.
I think it started because that's a flashback where they go and get him.
Mm-hmm.
That's 20 years prior, presumably just after the Clone Wars, or
Right,
at the
okay.
tail end. So he's been doing that for 20 years while Felicity Jones has been running amok.
Okay,
or
sure.
whatever she's been kind of doing. Because you got to remember this time as well, the general public think that the Empire are a good thing.
That's true,
And there's
yeah.
like a gradual shift in perception.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that if you read any of the books, Mason, which I know
Yeah.
you do, even though the words are all jumbled or whatever. But you get that sense, like Lost
Yeah.
Stars, and there's a few other ones. And even Star Wars Rebels.
What does the Empire do
That's so bad.
that's so bad?
No, it's mostly destroying stuff.
I mean,
really. There's a lot of enslaving of races.
you don't really see that, do you?
No, you don't.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of. I mean, sure, they blow up Alderaan.
They killed like 10,000 odd Jedi.
Yeah, but I mean,
Who cares?
like most of what they do
Yeah.
is just blowing up planets to get the rebels. If the
Sure.
rebels weren't all rebelling,
Yeah.
what would they be doing?
It's a lot of enslavement. It's a lot of like installing their systems in government where they're not wanted.
Okay.
A lot of bureaucracy.
Ah,
Yeah, there's no like the Senate is a sham, and
Sure,
because it's
okay.
only just dissolved at the start of A New Hope.
yeah.
But it's supposed to be set up in this
Well, they sound pretty good to me. Bring on the Empire. That's what I
on
say.
board. Great uniforms.
That's true.
Did you notice
Great formations? Everybody's always walking
they
in
are in a
formations.
good formation?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice what's his name? The Mendo. There's a few scenes where he's wearing like a Imperial windbreaker.
No, but that sounds great. That's very original Star Wars throwback.
Absolutely.
I feel, yeah.
So yeah, it looks like one of those Dreiser bone.
Sure,
but,
yeah.
but it's white and
Wow.
Imperial.
Well, I hope we see the whole swath of Imperial uniforms. Like there's workout gear.
There's a summer
yeah.
sarong.
Oh, so good.
What do you think about? How much Vader do you think we'll get in this, in time wise? I'll do this. I'll move
Okay,
my
yeah.
hands, and you tell me when to stop.
No, go back. Yeah, that amount.
Oh, really interesting.
Small amount.
Small amount.
Mm-hmm.
So you reckon maybe 10 minutes?
Not even 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Closer to 3 or 4.
Yeah, I reckon somewhere around there.
I'm thinking 15-ish in
Okay.
total. And a lot of it's going to be him just cutting people in half.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I reckon there might be just that. I reckon he's
Great.
I reckon he's just going to show up. People are going to cower in fear.
Yeah.
Guys that look like Mendo.
That
Maybe
looks
Mendo.
Yeah, absolutely. That looks like his entrance where maybe something goes wrong and he's like, "Right, I'm going to sort this out."
Yeah, I think maybe there's that, and then he shows up at the end to mete out punishment to everybody who failed him.
Right.
And that's it.
Probably a few people then.
Yeah.
It is.
But do you think there's going to be a battle scene where he's severely damaged?
Well, it's a possibility. Yeah, I think it's absolutely a possibility because even in this, he moves very swiftly.
Sure.
And the
okay.
next one, he's not
That's
as
true, yeah.
much. Yeah, but that is also the sign of the times and the filmmaking and
Yeah,
whatever. So that might not necessarily mean anything. There is something I missed in this trailer, and I'm annoyed, Mason.
Because you did a Things You Missed video.
I did. And what was it? You can see in the X-Wing scene, you can see a Rebel fleet behind them.
Okay.
There's like a whole lot of Mon Calamari cruisers,
Ooh.
if you're familiar from Return of the Jedi. And the medical frigate
Sure, okay.
from Empire. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
It looks like a big kind of toothbrush.
Was
sort
the
of.
Bacta tank in it?
No, that weird medical droid that gives Luke his hand is.
Oh,
is
sure,
in it.
right, okay.
There's
yeah.
2 of them, which means one of them is probably going to explode because there's only one later.
Yeah, sure, that's true.
Later down the road.
Yeah.
But no, and there's also some ships that they look like the original ship, the first ship you see in Star Wars, except the front's like turned on its side, like
Yeah.
a hammer.
The blockade
Yeah,
runner.
it's like a variation on that. You see them
Okay.
in Rebels as well. So I thought that was really
It's the
interesting.
blockade tapper.
Yeah, that's right.
The blockade.
Give it a nudge.
The blockade doorbell ringer. It's not as good.
Yeah, but no, I thought that was really interesting.
The blockade.
as well.
The blockade doorbell ringer, and then you open the door, and there's a big brown paper bag that's on fire, and you step
Bantha
on Bantha
poo-doo.
poo. Exactly.
But did you see the fallen Jedi statue?
No.
That's at the very start. It looks like a mountain range.
Okay.
But it's like a bearded Jedi and it's crashed to the ground. It's like Lord of the
sure.
Rings sized kind of statue, those kind of ones. Because that planet, which I think the city's going to be destroyed, that's like a Jedi mecca where you
Sure,
go and get
okay,
your
right.
crystals and make your bloody lightsaber or whatever.
Yeah.
But did
A perfect secret stronghold for the Jedi. The only clue: a giant statue of a Jedi.
but I think it's been occupied by the Imperials and then mining it for crystals to put in the Death
Oh, okay,
Star or
right,
whatever.
sure.
That's what I think. Anyway, but I thought initially that this does a good job of showing people when the time period it is.
It still doesn't.
Yeah,
It still does not.
I think there's just some people who just aren't gonna know, and that's the way it is, man.
Yeah.
You can't explicitly.
They're going to put it, even when they put it in the opening crawl, in the, after the events of the Clone Wars and before the blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
this happens. People are still going to come out of the movie going, when is Darth Vader going to meet Rey or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
So-
when is Darth Vader gonna meet Rey though? That's a really good question, Mason. We should do a podcast on that.
Okay.
It's a shame we're doing a Harry Potter one today.
Oh, that's fine.
We got one more bit of news. There's other bits of various newses, but we're trying to not do that, aren't we? I guess. Fantastic Beasts has been expanded to 5 movies this week.
5 movies of Eddie Redmayne going, ugh.
Well, that's the thing.
Or they changed the main protagonist.
Apparently, there's going to be. Well, the story is that they might touch on the Wizarding War, which is exactly what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Which is really
Do you
interesting.
think our friend Raw Collins' video on Gay Wizard Hitler possibly pushed them over the edge into expanding to 5
Potentially.
movies? I think so, probably.
I'll link that below. He does great work. He also does the Twitter account and a bunch of other stuff. But he makes some great videos, and he took that segment. So if you want to know what we're talking about, if you missed it, bloody check it out. But
All right, I'd watch
I'm
that.
all for that.
Yeah, okay.
Get Redmayne out of here.
Yeah.
Because in the last trailer for Fantastic Beasts or whatever, they mention Grindelwald and Dumbledore, I think. We talked
Okay.
about this last week. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Wizard bloody World War II, mate.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm all about. And that leads us into this week's second ad.
Perfecto.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Just quickly, this is Mac Weldon.
Love
we
Mac
we
Weldon.
like what they're about. Well, by the way, they're going to send us some more stuff, so you got to give me a list of stuff.
Okay,
and
I
then,
will.
get that sent out. All their products, as in t-shirts, socks, bed sheets, not those,
Hoodies.
hoodies, track pants, or sweatpants. What do they call them in other places?
Both of those things.
Good.
We've covered all our demographics.
I think so.
Mm.
They're anti.
I was a little worried that the people who love track pants were going to turn off there, but it's okay. They turned off like 20 minutes ago. so
Exactly.
that's fine.
They're naturally antimicrobial, which means they eliminate odor.
You just glossed right over that, but you nailed it first time.
Thank
the
you
word
very much.
antimicrobial.
They're comfortable also, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it and they will still refund you, no questions asked.
That's right.
So, I got a list here. This is what they do. Underwear, socks, shirts that look good, they perform well. It's good for working out, going to work, going on dates. Just everyday life. And if you visit macweldon.com and get 20% off by using the promo code Planet.
Planet.
And that
Simple.
And that's 20% is quite a lot.
I know, right?
Yeah. But that helps out the show and they're great.
I would go to a sale for anything less than 20%.
Is that true, Mason?
yeah.
I mostly buy stuff on. Oh, no, not close.
20% feels good.
It does feel good, doesn't it? I don't like going to sales. I don't want to
Because it's
wrestle.
mayhem, but online
Yeah.
better, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm not wrestling an idiot for a pair of pants I probably don't want. That I probably have to get taken up or down anyway.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they
Or
bloody get
sideways.
me.
Maybe they have to be taken sideways.
I always feel obligated to buy something at a sale. Like, even if I don't want it, I'm like, well, I'm here and it's...
I feel obligated to
off.
buy something whenever I go to Kmart.
Oh, really?
No matter what.
What have you bought recently? A fold-out chair? One of those outdoor heating...
I bought a new microwave. I actually needed that.
Well, that's important, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a micro convection one? That way you can heat it up like an oven?
Yes.
Did you really?
Yes.
You don't know, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
Literally the first one there.
Good. Harry Potter. Now, we've been promising that we'd do a Harry Potter episode for a while.
Yep.
Maybe we should make this a yearly thing, seeing as we're getting 5
Sure.
movies, though every 2 years. So, like, we had our yearly Hunger Games Doctor Who episode.
Sure, yeah.
And now that's out the window because one of those stopped.
And also, if you listen to all those, you notice our distinct loss of enthusiasm over the course of. Should we team this up with another franchise? Maybe not this time around because we don't have another
Sure.
thing. but-
Yeah, well, I think we need to do 2 movies at a time because there's
Okay.
8 in total. So, presuming this podcast keeps going,
Yep.
I guess we'll do this for 8
What was
years.
it? Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Sure.
no, 4 years. Because if we do 2 at a time.
Yeah. Nice.
Mathematics, Mason. It's important. So we're going to talk about the first 2 Harry Potter movies, directed by Christopher Columbus, known for both circumnavigating the globe and making the worst Harry Potter movies.
Isn't that his fault though?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a great start, but I just...
I feel I've asked this every time we bring up Harry Potter. You've read the books.
Yeah.
That's the question. No, the question is, are the Harry Potter books written assuming that the readers get older as the books?
Yeah, absolutely.
So so the language in the books is more simple in the earlier ones?
I would say maybe not so much that. They're all relatively easy to read, but the complexity of the story kind of builds.
Okay, sure. Right.
And so from that perspective, it makes it easy to understand if you've read the previous ones and you're getting older as you're,
Okay,
as
cool.
you're reading them. Yeah.
Well, I'm an adult, and as a result, am not getting any older ever. I have hit peak age, and I've
That's
stopped.
true. Yeah.
So
You've plateaued. So you've obviously watched The Philosopher's Stone / Sorcerer's Stone, which they changed for the US release of the film because apparently they weren't sure that people in the US knew what a philosopher was. I mean, the book was already a hit. I don't think that
Right,
was
yeah.
really necessary. And they also there's alternate takes for the lines and they dub it out in the actual movie.
great.
And J.K. Rowling says, because it was a kind of her first kind of, it was her first time kind of being involved in the film. She wishes she had
Put her foot down.
change it. Because everything else, I'll talk about it more towards the end. She puts her foot down on a lot of stuff, and these movies are better for it. I feel.
Okay,
Yeah.
more towards the end, I guess.
No, I mean from the start.
Okay,
Even
right.
though there's stuff that she said, no, do this.
That's very interesting because
Yeah.
in watching these last two, or the first two rather,
Yeah.
there's stuff that is not great in these first two movies.
Sure.
Acting,
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
But like there's clearly a lot of love built into like the world and
Yeah.
the effects and the
Totally.
and they're great for their time.
Totally,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's there's so much detail in this world and all the, the alleys people go down and all the, that sort of stuff. If you think of like a kind of a kids movie at the time, are there other kids movies that put in this level of detail, or is this kind of like a...
Not with this budget.
Yeah,
I
right.
feel, yeah. No, I can't. I mean, unless you count like a Star Wars movie or whatever, but this is really they're kids movies.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they did. I was actually at school when this one actually first came out, but even then I was at the age where I was like, fuck this.
Okay, sure.
And I hadn't read them at that point.
Uh-huh.
And I think I saw the first two before I read the books. I'm like, why would I read this?
Yeah. We're recording, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I just had a moment of dread.
We're around 30 minutes.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Wait, when did you remember these when they came out?
Yeah, I saw the first one in cinemas.
Did you?
Because I think at the time I was dating somebody who had read the books.
Okay.
A child. No, I'm kidding. You can edit that out. No, don't. It's fine.
No, well, I don't think the books are for kids necessarily.
Okay, right.
But these first two movies more so. But I'll say this, they nailed the casting from the very start. And the
Yeah.
actors, the kid actors, know they're not great, but
Right.
they get better. And the weird thing is, none of them turned into horrible monsters. Like, they weren't punching cops.
That's true.
Or like,
I thought you meant physically they turned into monsters.
Both.
Yeah.
And apparently Chris Columbus...
Some of the cast members got better looking.
Well, yeah. Well, Chris Columbus was also surprised that happens. Because what other franchise is... Normally they'll either cast old enough where they can't turn into a monster, or they cast young and then it kind of goes
Awry.
askew in a number of ways. But the only one that did kind of go a bit off...
Oh, here we go.
By
Here's a bit of judgment. Here we go. I wonder who James has a vendetta against. Wonder what.
Just wait till you hear the actual
Alright.
story.
Okay.
You familiar with Crab and Goyle?
No.
They're
The two
Malfoy's
kids.
henchmen.
Like his hench
Yeah.
kids.
The
yeah.
bigger one, the wider one with the shaved head. Do you remember the London riots in 2011?
Boy, do I.
Yeah, so basically a person was shot and it caused these day-long... If you're in London, you probably know this. It went for days, like this looting and raiding and whatever. And a lot of it was general...
This guy.
Yeah, well,
This guy was behind it all.
Well, there was outrage and there was also...
If you love Harry Potter, you'll smash some storefronts and steal some TVs. I'm a henchman.
Well, there was outrage... Like, there was genuine outrage, and there was a lot of just, well, this is an excuse for me to smash stuff. You know what I mean? And this guy was seen brandishing a Molotov cocktail.
Wow.
And as a consequence, went to jail. He didn't throw it, but there's footage of him walking down the street with it.
Is it lit?
No.
He could have just said it was some sort of artisanal candle.
I don't think
You know
he's-
what I mean?
I don't think he's
That's what
that-
I would have said.
Yeah.
I was just in Fitzroy and I got this candle. Must be $90, and they'd be like, "Well, that checks out, doesn't it?"
But even if he didn't throw it, that's still threatening. Do you know what I mean? That's like walking down the street with a knife or a handgun.
It's like a man dressed in a Hessian sack wielding flaming chains. Even if you don't
Exactly.
use the flaming chains, still kind of threatening.
Yeah, that's right. So look, I hope that dude's all right. But he did go to jail.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that turned out.
Was he just like, "I'm just holding this for a mate," or?
No, he I think he admitted to it and whatever. And maybe he was involved in some looting. I don't know the specifics of it. But what do you think the story was, Mason?
Oh God!
Of the first Harry Potter.
Oh, so Harry Potter's this little... He's a kid and he lives under the stairs of this awful family that I just want to die. I want him to die. They're so cartoonishly villainous, but I just want him to die.
Yeah,
This
Spoiler alert, by the way, for the entire series.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
And he lives under the stairs and I hate him and they treat him very poorly. Very inhumanely. It's illegal. You would almost certainly think.
Yeah, there's a reason he's there though. You find out later.
Oh, right.
I don't know if they touch on the books, but the movie they don't. I'm not sure they do in the movies. They do in the books. Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, hang on. What's that reason though?
The reason is it's something to do with it's the magic that protects him because they're related to him, and the reason he's invincible is because of his mother's love, and that's his mother's sister. So
Okay.
it's kind of it shields him until he's 18. It makes him invisible. And
But why are they so
something else.
horrible to him then?
Because she resents her sister
For being better.
Yeah,
For being
essentially.
physically superior.
Physically superior, and there's a jealousy there,
Right.
That
So anyway, it's bloody little ordinary kid Harry Potter, and then
Yeah.
it turns out that he's the best wizard in the world, and so the wizard people come and get him, and they take him to wizarding school,
Yep.
where he becomes the best wizard and the best at everything, and everybody thinks he's the best.
Well, he is, isn't he? In a way.
In a way, he's just born to be the best.
Yes. And that's the story. Now, there's a mystery at the school, as in what is the school hiding, and who's after it.
It's probably magic.
It's two-pronged. Yes, it is. It's magic in both accounts. Look, we talked about the cast.
Yes.
What do you think of the cast in general? Is there any you feel aren't strong?
All of them.
They're all not strong.
Yes.
They're all poorly cast.
No, they're not poorly cast, but they're not good at acting at this point. There's a lot of...
I'm talking like everybody, like your Hagrids and your whatever. Yeah. Because I think it's superbly cast, as in all the teachers and background characters
you're right,
and
yeah.
whatever. Except,
Oh, okay,
I feel
yeah.
like Dumbledore is just dim and flat.
Well, that's why they replaced him, isn't it?
That's not the main reason.
Oh, sure, okay, right.
I remember at the time thinking, why would you hire this guy? He's 90 years old. It was Richard Harris. And apparently he was only 70. So he actually wasn't that old. But he got sick and he died just after the release of the second one. So they recast him with another bland kind of actor. I don't think they're bland actors. I just look at Ian McKellen's Gandalf compared to this guy.
Look at Ian McKellen's anything.
Agreed.
Magneto.
Magnetos.
Gods and Monsters. That movie
Wait.
with Brendan Fraser.
Waiting for Godot. All
Oh, yeah.
classics.
Yeah, great.
But I think I think Richard Harris is a great actor. That's his name, isn't it?
Let's go with it.
Yeah. But I don't think he's a good Dumbledore. I don't
Wow.
think there's no spark to him. He's just kind of, Dumbledore. Maybe because you haven't read the books, but he's this lively kind of
I see.
rangy
Right,
and he's
right,
bouncy and whatever, and he's none of that.
He's
in
very-
any of these movies.
Is that his fault?
Yes.
But I mean, like, surely if J.K. Rowling has a hand in this movie,
Yeah.
surely she's like, well, he's a bit lively in this.
Yeah.
Like, who's fighting her on that? Who's like, no, he should be very
dull.
just kind of dull and yeah.
But
But doesn't he have a twinkle in his eye? He's got a bit of a twinkle.
I don't feel like he does. Maybe a little bit, but no, he looks older than he. Dumbledore's supposed to be like 100 or 90 or whatever.
Okay, sure.
But he just, I don't know. I just feel, I don't feel it. I don't
Okay,
feel it
sure,
at
right.
all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is the Ian McKellen thing, where you look how great he is in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
And maybe that's an unfair comparison because when I read these books, I imagine all the characters as they are in the movies, except for that guy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, maybe that's just me.
I think it is.
Okay, but if you look at like McGonagall,
Yes.
what's her name? British woman.
I was going to say Frances McDormand, but I don't think it is.
No, it's not her.
That's a young lady.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna figure out who that is because and Hagrid's like
Right,
dead
yeah.
on. Snape's amazing. Like Maggie Smith. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all round, really, really solid. But not so much him.
Yeah.
And the kids are kids, so I kind
Yeah.
of give them a pass.
Yeah, they're just reading lines.
Yeah.
They've got the line in their head and they're saying the line.
Yeah, exactly. Although I think some are better than others. I think Hermione gets better before the rest of them get better, and then they all kind of catch up.
Oh, right, I see.
In later movies, but maybe that's just me.
Look, what I was going to say is I don't having rewatched Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to on the rewatch, but I did kind of hate it a bit still.
What did you like about it though? What were the things that appealed to you
Yeah, the whole universe is
as
great.
an adult man?
I like the universe. There's a lot of creativity in there.
A lot of heart.
A lot of heart.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
But what I didn't like is that just there's a lot of weird contrived bits and pieces in there. Like there's that bit where I think I mentioned this last couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's the bit where they all have to play chess.
Right. Yeah.
And then Ron sacrifices himself so that the other two can go on. But there's no reason for him to sacrifice himself because he puts Hermione and Harry in place of two pieces, and
Yeah.
then he just climbs on a knight.
Yeah.
He just climbs on a horse, and he's like, I'm going to have to sacrifice... No, you're not. Just get off the horse. I'm going to have to sacrifice this knight to win, and you'll win, but I'll go on, but just get off the horse.
Get off the
horse, you idiots.
also,
Why doesn't he get off the horse?
I can't explain.
Does he not get off the horse in the book as well?
Yeah, he doesn't get off the horse. in
He
the
just
book.
get off the horse.
But it's kind of weird because the guy with the snake man on the back of his head
Yes.
had just came through. So did he play a game of chess? Did he get on the horse?
Good question.
Like did the other pieces did they step aside for, there's three people, so three of us will...
That's a very good
I don't
question,
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's exactly. It's the same syndrome of if you work for a supervillain, how do you get to work every morning? You have to
Yeah.
go through past the
have
lake
to
of
get on the
fire,
horse.
all the buzzsaws and the lasers and the little computer AI that's a little girl that's trying to kill you. You have to go through all of that just to get to work and sit at your desk and do some faxes or spreadsheets or whatever.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
Do you feel it's one of those movies where the villain is clearly not Snape? Like, I mean, you probably knew this going in.
Yeah.
But like, it's fairly clear, even when Snape kind of goes bad in these films, that Snape's not the villain. There's a lot of that in these Harry Potter books and movies where the good guy's the bad guy and the bad guy's the good guy. There's a lot of that. Like his godfather turns out to be good and Snape's also good.
Yeah,
and
and it's
the rat is a man.
and it's fascinating. Oh yeah, that's right. He's just peeping Tom on everybody. Ugh. But also, what does annoy me about these movies is that it's nobody ever twigs that that's the case.
Right.
It's always like
Dumbledore knows.
right.
Yeah.
But it's always like Harry Potter's like, oh, I saw this thing in the forest and it was evil, and they're like, I don't believe you, Harry Potter. But you're just making
bad
trouble.
news.
Even though you saved the whole, you saved the school last time because you noticed something amiss that we didn't notice, and you were right. Now you're just doing it for attention. You're just making trouble.
There is a lot of that. Yeah.
Oh, and they. At no point,
Yeah.
like you go through like 6 movies and they're still like Harry Potter, just making up stories about
Chambers of Secrets.
yeah.
Yeah, that you're right. But also, they are kids' books in a way. In another way, they're not. What about the special effects?
They're fine for that era.
Totally. I
Yeah.
think the practical stuff is really good.
Uh-huh.
But then you look at like the broomsticking,
Sure, right.
and it is like it's a lot of green screen. Apparently, Chris Columbus wasn't happy with that either. Like a lot of special effects in this, he was like, "Oh no, that's not good, but we have to release it anyway." This is the biggest movie of 2001, by the way.
Wow.
It did super duper
And the biggest
well.
event of 2001.
I think so in many
Anyway.
ways. Did you like how the villain turned out to be a guy with a snake on the back of his head, a snake face?
no.
And he was like, "You can't touch me, Harry.
No,
I can't
see,
touch
that's
you,"
the thing.
or whatever.
When this movie first came out, I hated the fact that Harry Potter just wins every time because he's Harry Potter. He's just the villain goes to kill him, and with no foreshadowing that I saw,
Yeah.
the villain goes to kill him, and then he can't kill him because he's Harry Potter.
And then Harry Potter murders that man,
Yeah, that's right.
turns him to dust.
And then he gets 1,000,000 points for doing a murder, which I think is poor form, and it's a bad lesson for your kids. Also, these first 2 movies especially set a precedent and a lesson for children, which is
Yeah.
just go rogue all the time. Just be,
Sure.
just be a loose cannon, go rogue, do whatever you want, and if it turns out you're correct, you'll get points for Gryffindor.
But if it doesn't, you've murdered a man.
Yeah.
You've murdered a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So, what's his name's after the Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone so he can get a body back and stop drinking unicorn piss or whatever he's
Right.
doing, right?
Uh-huh.
So, a lot of these movies are Voldemort. It's Voldemort. Not all of them. Some
Yeah.
it's not, but a lot of the stories is. But I like the idea that, I like how they build into this world that Harry Potter can't be touched by Voldemort. But then in the 4th book and movie, they flip it. So Voldemort takes Harry's blood and he builds his body from that. And so he can touch Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe, does that make
I
you
have
feel
no
any
memory
better?
of that.
Okay.
I guess, but I mean, let's say these weren't wildly successful.
Yeah.
That would just mean there were a couple of movies where there's a kid who's invincible for no real reason.
Okay, fair enough. What about the 3-headed dog?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Did it look good?
I remember it looking fine.
You heard it here first.
That's right, yeah. Put that on the DVD cover.
I don't know what else much. I don't really. What do you say about this movie? Because I feel like I don't really have much else to go on to talk about in this one in particular.
Well, it does introduce another piece of magic technology that they should just use all the time, which is the Cloak of Invisibility.
Right.
Just use it all the time.
They do use it all the time.
They should use it more.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you know that cloak is like super duper important down the line? Like in the last movies?
Well, now I do. Why is there only one?
Because it's part of the Deathly Hallows. There's like 3 items, and if you get them, and Death crafted them, allegedly.
Oh, okay.
And if you get them, you're the best in the world. So
Right.
there's a wand, which means you win every battle, which Dumbledore has.
Oh,
There's invisibility cloak, which means you can.
is that just his regular wand?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's one that you can cheat death. There's a stone which means you can cheat death, and you can you can bring people back from the dead in an astral form.
Who's got that?
Harry Potter in the end.
Oh,
But the way they build it in is works
All right,
kind of well.
fine.
Presumably Dumbledore has it. But
Okay.
but Voldemort only wants the wand because if you're powerful, you're like, well, what do I need a cloak for?
Exactly.
But it's good to have them all. Harry Potter snaps that wand and throws it off a cliff though at the end.
Oh, sure, right.
Yeah. Because if you've got the wand, people like murder you in your sleep for it.
It's like a jetpack.
It's exactly like a jetpack.
It's like the story of in the real world, the invention of the jetpack, a completely useless
Burn your legs off.
device that has been subject to all sorts of intrigue and people being
Yeah.
just
Murdered.
It's great.
Murdered for
Everybody
it?
look up the history of the jetpack. It's great.
I will. Maybe we should do an episode on the history
Yeah.
of the jetpack. And so, and with the stone that brings people back, it makes you so depressed because they don't like being back that they get all sad that you've dragged them out of the afterlife.
Oh wow, okay.
That they get depressed and then you kill yourself. Like that's the way that kind of works.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a great animation. You can actually look it up on YouTube. It's just that section of Hermione telling the story of the Deathly Hallows. Because it's ultimately what they kind of need to defeat Voldemort and what Voldemort's sort of after, sort of.
It's all a bit complicated.
It is a bit complicated if you ask me also. Well, let's talk about the Chamber of Secrets. Do you think this is an improvement on the first one?
Yes, I do.
In what sense?
The mystery is better.
Ah.
It works quite well as a mystery.
I think this story lends itself better to movie form than the first one.
Okay, right.
I
Gotcha.
feel anyway. Anyway, go on, sorry.
No, that's all I had.
Oh, but the mystery you like.
The mystery I liked.
You didn't know it was going to be a giant snake. I mean, you probably knew that.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
There's some very slow action sequences in this one. There's a lot
The
of
spiders?
the spiders, the bit
Really?
the
Okay.
bit at the end where he fights Tom Riddle and,
yeah.
and the Phoenix very slowly
Cruises in, mate.
cruises in, gives him a little
Hat.
gives him the hat and he has a chance to unroll it and there's some
Yeah, yeah.
expository dialogue and there's
Yeah.
then the Phoenix fights the big snake and
Yep.
and then Tom Riddle's like, well, it's he's blinded the snake, but he can still get you, can't he? There's a
Yeah.
lot of exposition.
There is.
It's very
Because you can't have Harry Potter turn around to check if it's been blinded.
yeah, that's right.
So you need
because
to
then
have-
he'd be
Yeah.
petrified to death.
But I mean, you could see that in the shadow that
Mm-hmm.
Fawkes had, that's its name, had taken out the eyes. But I think that was for the audience just to
Yeah.
be like, hey
Hey,
kids,
kids.
watching.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the snake. Gotta say though, that snake looks amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a 2002 snake.
Wow.
And that's one of the best snakes I think ever committed to screen. Though there's a snake later that's also good.
What about the film Anaconda?
That's a shit looking snake.
Agreed.
Except when it vomits up John Voight and he winks. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Very strange.
Hmm.
You know, actually, I think, and I might be wrong, Voldemort has a snake, right? And it's also got a piece of his soul in it, right?
Yeah, all right.
And I think it's the same snake that Harry lets out of the snake enclosure.
first movie.
That might not be
Oh,
true.
that's right. Harry Potter can talk to snakes as well.
But there's a
good on him.
But
He
there's
can
a
just
reason
do everything,
he can
can't
do
he?
it. No, but there's a reason though.
Because he's
These movies do a good job, I think, of setting up. They really lay the groundwork for future movies. So a lot of the stuff that you're like, that's dumb,
Mm-hmm.
is not all of it, but a lot of it is explained. Like he can talk to snakes because he has a piece of Voldemort's soul in him, and Voldemort.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
okay.
and get Gandalf. Fucking
Dumbledore?
Dumbledore is raising him to be slaughtered. Like
Wow.
that's
Brutal.
Yeah, because he
wait
had-
by who? Voldemort.
yeah, because he has a piece of his Voldemort soul in him. Voldemort accidentally did that when he tried to
I
kill
tried to kill him. Right.
Yeah, and that's the reason he can talk to snakes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. So there's even a scene where Snape's like, "What is wrong with you? Like you're raising a child to be murdered." So Snape's a good guy.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he can't.
He's
let
just got
on.
bad hair. It's
He's just
unfortunate.
got bad hair.
Some of the worst hair.
Yeah, like
Have you ever been on the haunted bookshop tour in Melbourne?
no, is it good?
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
the
It's
guy
not a tour
run-
of haunted bookshops. There's a haunted bookshop.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really haunted.
Is the guy in
Magic
there
isn't
look like
real.
Snape or something?
Yeah, the guy who does the tour dresses and acts and has the hair that is exactly like Snape. You go around all the haunted places in Melbourne. I recommend it. It's kind of
I was
fun.
gonna say, is that great or grating? It's great.
It's initially very grating, but you kind of
You settle
Yeah,
into it.
you settle into
Good
it,
on
yeah.
him, man, for
Yeah.
committing to it.
Right.
That's great. Is he a young guy?
He's probably in his 40s.
Okay, good on him.
He's old enough to own a haunted bookshop.
That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, I've heard that's good. I've heard it's really good. So I'm gonna bloody check it out. But anyway, so when Voldemort kills Harry Potter for the second time,
Right.
and he goes to train station heaven.
Uh-huh.
You don't remember this, do you?
No. You're thinking of the Matrix Revolutions.
I might
when
be.
Neo's trapped in the train
I
station.
might be, but that Voldemort kills that own part of his soul, and Harry Potter comes back, and then he can't talk to snakes anymore.
Oh,
So people who can talk to snakes, it's normally associated with evil wizards
Slytherin.
and Slytherins. Just pack them into one house, mate.
yeah. Mhm. Just
all
do
the-
it.
all
What's
the
the worst that
evil-
could happen?
Don't spread them out.
Do you think there's a lot of OH&S incidents in like Hufflepuff? Because they're always just tripping over things. And,
Yeah, probably. They're cowardly but nice or
Yeah,
something or whatever.
yeah. The most visits to the school counselor. They're just crying all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. I'm not even sure what those other two are. I think one's brainy and the other one's loyalty or something. But that also might be Gryffindor. Gryffindor are all the best qualities in a
Yep.
person. Yeah. But
Just have two houses and they're good guys and bad guys.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, the second one also has. There's a lot of people getting away with stuff because they're Harry Potter. Specifically, it's Harry Potter getting away with a lot of stuff because it's Harry
What do you
Potter.
mean
I
specifically?
mean, like right from the start. So, everybody decides to go to. Everybody's going back to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And Ron and Harry can't go through because it's
Oh,
little
because
elf. Dobby
Yeah,
the house elf
Dobby.
has closed the gateway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they decide to get in the car as
To steal
like
the car.
14-year-old boys or whatever to steal the car and fly it
yeah.
across England.
There's a lot of Ron screaming in this one, isn't there?
Yeah. Is Hogwarts in real England or magic England? I'm sure I think I probably asked that last week.
What do you mean by real England?
Like, is it actually? Can you? If you're a regular person,
Yeah.
can you go there and
No,
find it?
you can't. It's got enchantment, so when you kind of get near it,
Uh-huh.
it's something like you realize you've left the stove on or something.
Ah, that's fine.
Yeah,
okay, I'm on
so
board with that.
it's a
Okay,
bit like that.
So they decide to illegally fly
Yes.
this car
Yep.
there. Instead, you know what normal kids would have done?
What?
Just gone home.
Yeah,
I don't have to go to school. This is great. This is amazing.
but they love school
Oh yeah,
because it's
Jesus.
school. It's magic
Ugh.
school.
I guess.
Or you steal the car. Like, yeah, they could have waited for their parents to come back through.
Yeah.
There's a number of things.
One
that
of the
could have
what
happened.
are the? Surely the parents would have noticed.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Yeah. Also, you wouldn't get in trouble for the door closing. You'd get in trouble for flying a car into a tree.
That's true.
That's what I feel.
But in a way, they didn't get in trouble for anything.
No, they did it. Well, Snape was like, "You're expelled," but then they were like, "Are they expelled?" Because 50 points to Gryffindor.
That's right. For innovative use of a coat hanger that you undo and you undo the locks of your dad's car. Innovative use of going under the dashboard and doing that thing where you put the wires together. Good work.
Yeah, absolutely. So the villain of this is a giant snake and a boy trapped in a diary.
That's Voldemort, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And that's the other thing I like. Like again, it
How many
sets.
people are Voldemort in this?
How many? What do you mean by that?
So in the first one,
Yeah.
Voldemort is the back of the guy's head, right?
Yes. Yep.
So when he was killed,
Yeah.
did Voldemort go into the diary? Or is it two separate aspects of Voldemort?
So he split himself. It ends up being 7 pieces.
Okay, right.
One of them's Harry Potter,
Oh.
which he's unaware of.
Right.
And 7's a magical number or whatever. And this is all stuff you find out later, where he, from a very early age, he figured out how to split his soul so that he would keep living forever. So the first one he did was a trial where he put himself into the diary. So that part of him
So
exists.
that was 1/7 of himself.
Yes.
Okay, right.
So,
So when they killed Snake Guy,
yeah.
no wait, when they killed back of the head guy in the first one,
Yeah.
where did that aspect of him go?
Well, that's, I don't know.
Okay, right.
I'm sure there's a...
Wow,
there's a
somebody doesn't know
reason.
everything about Harry Potter here.
I'm sure people do know.
Yeah.
It's kind
Would
of
it have been
ambiguous.
subdivided among the remaining bits?
No, that's the main kind of part of him,
Okay.
I believe.
Right.
And it goes and he manages to become a creepy little baby. I don't know if you remember that.
Ah, right, gotcha.
So any part of his soul potentially can come back. So and that's something.
As long as you don't kill all of them at the same time, right?
That's
Okay.
right. So that's why Dumbledore knew that he was going to come back because he'd suspected that he'd done this.
Right, okay,
And
gotcha.
so the pieces are kind of hidden. There's one hidden in Hogwarts, and there's one in a snake, and there's one. They're all over the place.
Yeah, gotcha.
So the big kind of deal at the end of the series is you can't just kill him. You need to kill all his pieces,
Mm.
and he doesn't apparently know in the books that it's happening because he's so stretched thin that there's not much of him left.
Gotcha.
As a person, but in the movie, it's kind of he feels it.
Is there any particular reason he wants to cheat death? He just doesn't want
Just
to.
a
Doesn't,
dickhead,
doesn't want to
mate.
die.
Just a
Okay,
big
right.
dickhead,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Uh-huh. And how's he killed originally?
Harry, the spell backfired. Love.
Oh, I meant prior to that. Was he killed prior to that?
No.
Okay, right, gotcha.
No.
He's just been hanging around in the back of people's heads.
Yeah, or that one guy in particular.
Is that even living? You know what I mean?
Well, no, he doesn't love it, does he?
No, it's made a very big mistake, in my opinion. There.
But he also doesn't like that. He doesn't like being reduced to that. So
Why'd he do it?
What? Go in the back of a man's head? Yeah. Because he needed something. He needed to get back to full strength, and it's the kind of the only way that he can kind of get there.
I feel he's made a tactical error.
But yeah, sure.
Must be an easier way to cheat death.
There definitely is. There definitely is. Well, there's literally the Philosopher's Stone. Like the guy who invented that is just, he decides to die at the end, but he's an alchemist. And he's actually he was a real life alchemist. Nicholas Flamel. And then he ends up dying because he's like, maybe I shouldn't live forever. Maybe this is...
Probably could have just asked that guy.
Yeah, he probably could have.
yeah.
So and there's also time travel.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that you can, and that's more in the new story. But
Anyway, in the second one, we've got plenty of Harry Potter going, no, I think there's a monster, and they're like, Harry Potter, you're wrong. I mean,
all these
50. I mean,
people are frozen.
I mean, 50 points for being wrong, sure, but you just.
Did you ever think it was the giant spider or whatever? You didn't think that was
No.
Yeah.
No, but also that. Literally after that, so there's the scene where Hagrid goes, follow the spiders.
Yeah.
Follow the spiders and you'll get the information you need.
Yeah.
And then they go and they're almost horribly killed by a massive swarm of giant spiders.
Yes.
And then they go back. They're saved by the car that comes out of the forest.
Yeah.
And then Ron actually says, well, what didn't we already know? Like, we learned absolutely nothing except Hagrid wasn't behind it, which we already knew because we believe Hagrid.
Yeah.
Because he seems trustworthy.
And maybe you had that vision.
And if you went to the Dumbledore or whoever, if you went to Maggie Smith and you said, hey, we believe Hagrid's innocent. And they went, no, he's not. And then you went, no, but we went to a giant spider who said he was innocent. They'd still be like, nah, he's not,
Look,
though.
50 points.
Yeah, lots of points for facing down your fear of spiders, but we still don't believe it. It's completely pointless. That
Yeah,
bit.
well, Hagrid's an idiot, though. And he's kind of an idiot in the books as well.
Okay, right.
Because he was framed for opening the Chamber of Secrets, he never finished his schooling. And technically...
Well, so when he fills in a form, he can only say, like, some high school.
Some high school,
You
yeah.
can't say high school diploma.
He's technically not allowed to do magic.
Right.
His umbrella is his wand.
Okay.
And he kind of, like, people kind of turn a blind eye to it. But he's not supposed to do magic.
Right.
And
So if you go to Hogwarts and you don't graduate, you're not allowed to use any of that magic.
you can get to, it's like their equivalent of, like, year 10. In Australia, if you want to be a cop or join the army or
Yeah.
something like that, you need to get to year 10.
Yeah.
It's a similar
But what I
thing.
mean is, if you went to high school,
Yeah.
like if you went to like 7th and 8th grade of high school,
Sure.
and you learnt maths and English
Yeah.
and science, and then you dropped out, they still let you use the maths and English and science
Yeah, but you
learned.
can't turn a man into a pig with maths.
Fine.
Yeah, I think that's what
I
it
think
is.
the best mathematicians can.
Probably, yeah. What's his name? Elon Musk probably could.
Probably could,
Is he a
yeah.
mathematician?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, so there's a few people that exist in this world that, like, Flitch.
Seems more like trade
Filch?
school. Hogwarts is more like a trade school where you can be a qualified electrician.
Fred and George Weasley, you know them, the twins.
Yes.
One of them ends up dead, spoiler alert.
Oof.
But they leave in their second to last year or last year before they finish, and they open up a joke shop. And
Magic
they can,
jokes or
yeah,
regular
and
jokes?
they can do both.
Okay,
all
right.
sorts, mostly magic. So yeah, you can go on to do stuff.
I'm glad that they have actually thought this through though. Like you do have I was kind of hoping you'd have no answers to this, but you're like no year 10 you get some sort of
yeah,
equivalency
it's
degree.
something you get your owls or something.
Your
owls
owls.
and your newts. I can't
Oh, you get
remember
owls and
exactly.
newts.
It's like in Australia it's called VCE or
Yeah.
whatever, but well in Victoria it's called VCE,
Mm-hmm.
I should say. Yeah, so there's reasons behind it, and then there's people who are born into non-magical families who become magic.
Okay.
Like Harry Potter's mother. Also, half of Voldemort is...
Right,
even
he's
though-
got a muggle father.
He's got a
that he
muggle
hates.
father, yeah.
Yeah.
Which they really look into in the books, which is actually really interesting. They don't really touch on it as much in the movies. And Filch, the groundskeeper.
Oh, groundskeeper Felch.
Yeah, he's what's called a squib, which means he's born...
Which means you put him on yourself and then you pretend to be shot and he explodes out of you.
That's right.
Wow.
No, he's one of those people who's born into a magic family and he's aware of it, but he's just not magic.
Oh, that's
so that
unfortunate.
also exists. It goes
Wow.
both ways.
That's unfortunate for
Yeah,
him.
that's why he's such a prick. Well, it's probably other reasons as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very for like murdering a kid or putting a kid in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie also introduces a couple of new characters. Lucius Malfoy,
The father of...
the father of Draco Malfoy. Draco's really good in this, by the way. He's a good evil kid. I feel like even from the get-go, he's pretty solid
Yeah, okay, that's
for
probably
an
true.
evil kid.
Yeah. Mhm.
But there's a bit at the end where Lucius Malfoy tries to kill Harry Potter. Like, legitimately kill.
That's right, yeah.
Because as Harry Potter saves the day and he frees the house elf,
Yep.
remind me about the house elf. I've got a fact for you about that in a
Okay.
minute. But
Is the fact that people seem to be okay with slavery in this universe?
that's touched on the books a lot as well.
Okay,
You know,
right.
all the food that comes to the tables?
They make it in little
They make
underground
it, yeah.
cabins or something.
And then Dumbledore, because everyone thinks that Dumbledore magics it, he just teleports it.
Guess what you could do is you could just make it with magic.
Or you can't. I don't.
Alright,
Yeah,
fine,
it's
God.
you. Yeah, I think you actually. I don't know. It's very vague.
Yeah.
Yeah, like clocks aren't real. Like clocks instead of like.
No, clocks aren't real. That's true. Time's just an illusion, man.
I mean, a lot of the time, instead of like the Weasleys have a clock, instead of telling the time, it tells you when the person's close to coming home.
Oh.
There's a lot of that.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. Also, you get to an age where you don't have to travel. You can. It's called apparat, where you can disappear and reappear anywhere, and you can do that at like your VCE levels. You get to like 16 and you're allowed to do it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But like, why does anybody do anything?
Why does anybody have a car?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he does it because George Weasley's the head of Muggle affairs, or he's in that department.
So he has to pretend to be human or something?
Well, that and he's just got a real interest in it, and
Oh,
like he's
I
got
see,
a
right.
fascination with like Muggle stuff.
Right, it's like nobody needs a hot rod or something, but you
no,
build one
but
because
he
it's fun.
built-
Okay, right. Okay, that makes
exactly,
sense.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but but you can't do that in Hogwarts. That's got to so you can't just teleport into Hogwarts. Like not even Dumbledore can,
Right, okay.
but he can clap on a phoenix and disappear. That happens in the 5th movie. It's pretty sweet.
Uh-huh.
It's his finest moment in the movies.
Sounds amazing.
He bursts into flames.
That's
It's incredible.
That's his Gandalf fighting the Balrog. He claps and he disappears. Amazing.
It's really good. It's a really good scene because they come to arrest him.
Yes.
Because they're like, you're starting an army to overthrow the government. And he's like, I'm not going to go with you. And they're like, you better. And he's like, see you later. And he bursts into flames. It's great. And one guy's like, that dude's got style. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he does. In that scene, at least.
They were like, oh, he used magic. We didn't expect that. We didn't expect the head of magic at a magic school.
Who's the
who has
best at magic.
Who's the best at magic, who has a wand that makes him undefeatable at magic. We didn't expect him to use magic. Maybe next time we encounter him, we should have some countermeasures for that magic. What a bunch of idiots.
I know.
That's what I'm talking about.
But-
But if you live and breathe
Yeah.
magic, if your job is to apprehend people who can use magic,
Yeah.
surely you have something set up to stop them using
But he
magic.
he's a level above everyone else.
Right,
Like
okay.
a lot of the people they're just government men.
Oh, so they're fine. Okay, right.
Yeah, there's a
okay.
lot of that. Like, not everybody is really good at magic.
I
People are
see.
just kind of like, there's a lot of kind of like middle management.
Sure.
And he's he's
Middle
the
magic.
middle management. Yeah, and he's the guy who could be like the head of the wizarding community, but he chooses to educate. Like
Right,
that's
okay, yeah.
his and set up a boy to be murdered. Those are his
Oh,
passions.
sure, right.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Hang on. So, what else can you be if you can't be the head of a magic school?
You could
if
be
you're
an
really good at
aura.
magic, what could you do?
You could track down evil magicians. You
right.
can just be like an accountant. You can run a shop. You can
All
be
these
a
sound not
banker.
as good as being the head of a magic school, if I'm honest.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, there's not that.
Are there magicians who are just like out exploring the universe or something?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Yeah.
Out in deep space?
Oh,
Is there
that
magic?
I don't. Oh, that I don't know. Actually,
Does magic work outside of Earth?
Don't know.
Ooh.
Good question.
Maybe
That's
we'll find out in one of the millions of Fantastic Beasts sequels.
absolutely. Anyway, Lucius Malfoy tries to use the death curse on Harry Potter.
That's right.
Avada Kedavra. Do you get it?
No, I get it.
Yeah. And he doesn't do it in the book, and apparently the reason he does it because that's the only spell Jason Isaacs knew. But he was gonna, because he didn't, he only knew a little bit about the
Oh, right,
the
sure,
world.
sure.
But he was actually gonna kill Harry Potter.
Yeah,
and
a
he,
child.
and he would have.
Yeah.
because he's only invulnerable to bloody
Voldemort.
Voldemort. Yeah, like you can still knife him
Yeah.
or put him on a giant horse or whatever and have it hit by a chess piece. But Dobby is apparently based off Putin. His look.
Russian dictator Vladimir
Look it up.
Putin.
I couldn't believe it either. But apparently this is probably true and Putin hates it. Apparently. Look it up. Look up a picture of him.
I'll do it later. I'll assume you're lying and then do it later and realize you're correct and never say anything on the podcast or to you personally.
Sure.
Yeah. But you'll think I live in doubt of that forever.
Dobby's also one of those characters I feel he's incredibly annoying and I don't like him.
Very unpleasant.
But he comes good.
He drops a cake on someone's head.
He does. Why did Harry Potter follow that in?
I don't know.
He could have just been upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have just, anything.
Also, that almost got Harry Potter expelled as well. Because they were like, "You're using underage magic, Harry Potter," and he's like, "No, there wasn't. There was a weird little frog man."
I know his name. It's Dobby, and he's an elf. And he told me all sorts of secret things, and I'm telling them to you now. We don't believe you, Harry Potter.
50 points.
50 points for lies, for very elaborate lies. But no, just believe him. At what point do they start believing him? It's
They don't.
Yeah.
And the other thing is because Voldemort's followers infiltrate the Ministry of Magic, there's this whole wave of propaganda against Harry Potter.
Wow.
So that's what happens in the later movies. Like, he gets discredited by newspapers and the government.
Imagine
and
if you're a
whatever.
little kid and you're just going to school, and then all of a sudden the Herald Sun starts publishing like hit pieces on you.
Absolutely. The other character in this is...
Mr. Sunday Movies doesn't pay his taxes. I'm a little kid. I don't have a job. Yeah.
The other character that's introduced in this is Lockhart.
Yeah,
who's
played by the great Kenneth Branagh,
who
Sir
I
Kenneth
love.
Branagh.
It was going to be Hugh Grant initially.
Both of those characters feel too old.
Do you mean like...
No, I mean they feel like those actors, but Kenneth Branagh as well feels too old to be in that role.
Like the sexy...
Yeah, I feel
kinda-
like he should be more of a like a
A Stanley Tucci.
no, like a teen, like a Zac. It should have been Zac Efron.
I think that's too... I think you'd want to go mid-20s.
Yeah. But like, I don't understand all these kids who are idolizing this very old man. I don't think would ever.
Well, Kenneth Branagh was a sexy man in the 90s, wasn't he?
No, but I think at a certain kids don't if you reach a certain age, kids don't realize you exist anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
Like about our age.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. We're not
Not
doing
that
this
they ever
podcast
did.
anyway. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. But I mean, it should be. I don't know.
Like a... trying to think of like a Rise Ethan... Not Rise... John Rhys Davies. Like that kind of guy. No, not the guy... The young guy from Bend It Like Beckham. He's in
all right,
Shooters.
sure, okay,
You
yeah.
know the guy I'm talking
yeah,
about?
I know
He's
who
like
you're
an
talking
Irish
about.
dude.
You mean that guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Not the guy from Wallander, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah.
Branagh not handsome enough for you?
No, he's handsome, but I don't know.
He was.
Like that when you look at that character, he looks like somebody who I don't know, housewives would be like, oh, he's so dreamy kind
right,
of thing,
like
right?
a Jamie
Jamie Oliver.
I was gonna say Jamie Kennedy, but no. Well, he was
Or like a like a Hugh Grant. Like
sure, yeah. Like
Yeah.
a younger Hugh Grant though.
right, exactly, yeah.
So he was like 40, 41 when he
Okay,
did it.
sure,
So yeah, I
alright.
see what you're saying. I don't disagree with you, Mason. Yeah.
Also, it's amazing that he got as far as he did, knowing basically zero magic.
Well, that's
Very
the thing. He
interesting.
knows one spell really
Yeah.
well, which is the
The
mind
rubbery
wipe.
arm spell.
The rubbery arms. Slap a person with your bloody rubbery arm. But that also sets up
Wait, the spell he knows is the mind wiping
mind
spell.
wipe.
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, they explain it more in the books, and he actually shows up later because little known fact, Mason. Well, it's well known, I guess, if you know Harry Potter. Neville Longbottom's parents were tortured by Bellatrix Lestrange. What's her name?
Helena Bonham Carter.
I said that wrong. So their minds are fried, and they're in a mental institution.
Oh, I see.
And so what's his name? Neville Longbottom also has like a terrible upbringing, but nobody cares because his
Sure,
parents
right.
are like their brains are fried and they're just babbling away. In
Which
this-
leads to the fan theory
institution.
that Neville Longbottom is in fact this chosen.
It's not actually a fan theory. It's also in the books,
Right,
that it could have gone either way.
Fans of Neville Longbottom in that universe.
Yeah, totally. Talk about
press.
a guy who got good looking though.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But what was I going to say? But they go to visit him and Lockhart's in there just scrawling his name and handing it to people. Like he knows he was famous
Yeah.
and he knows he's popular, but he doesn't know anything else. So he's
Oh, I see.
it's
Got
quite
it, right.
it's quite good. But they don't come back to that. So he never recovers. But fair enough. He was trying to wipe the mind of a child or whatever.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, it's pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
It's not bad. Snake looks good.
Quidditch still makes no sense.
No,
Zero
because you got to
sense.
get the thing. Just get the thing.
Why is there any other part of the game then?
Because
Has there ever been a game of quit? Because you get 150
Yes,
points,
there
right?
has been.
And then you win the game?
then you win the game. That stops the game. But no, there has been.
Because has there ever been a game where the one team has won more than 150 points? and
Yes.
they've gotten the snitch.
Yes.
And, oh, wow.
It happens in the Wizarding World Cup.
It seems quite rare, though.
Yes.
It
Well, why
seems-
would you get it if you were down? Like, if your team's down 150 points,
Yeah.
you wouldn't grab it because you're still going to lose.
That's true.
You'd kind of you'd tread water until you got up.
Yeah.
It's not a great game. Have you ever seen people do it in real life?
I'm aware that it happens in real life. But how does the snitch work? Is somebody the snitch?
Yeah, someone's painted gold and runs about.
That's not true.
It's absolutely true.
But there's a guy and they're like, I'm the snitch.
I'm the snitch, mate.
Huh.
Yeah.
Seems very odd.
It's all odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could get a drone now.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely could. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I mean, sure, some people would lose fingers in the helicopter
You can get
blades.
ones where the blades are caged.
Oh, it's enclosed. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I meant that in a positive way. Like some people would lose their fingers.
Okay,
You know what? Get a bit of mainstream appeal.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance if we get flying technology that this will become a real game down the
Yes.
line?
Yeah.
Like it'll definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Good stuff. And look out for the quaffles or the bludgers or whatever, because there's 15 different balls on the field or something.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And they all do different things.
Some are angry at you for some reason. Some will kill you. So
That was cursed though.
Yeah,
do you
still.
remember?
Still,
Yeah.
I feel if it's capable of being cursed, you should ban it from the field.
Yeah, fair point. Well, you'd ban everything, wouldn't you? Because everything can be cursed.
And also, you could just fall off a broom and die.
Yeah, absolutely.
There doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be any safeguards in place if
No,
you fall off your broom.
You get caught by the teachers.
If they're paying attention.
Yeah, and they're often not.
Yeah, but not, yeah.
Yeah, they're really not. Also, it's weird that in Chamber of Secrets they're like, we're going to have to shut the school. Like, this is the thing that's going to shut the school?
That's right.
What about the teacher you hired last year who had a snake man on the back of his head? You didn't.
That's
we're
right.
going to shut the school then?
No, but then they checked everybody. They checked
checked the
everybody
back.
like checking for lice. You know, when they check for lice at school, they checked all the teachers for back of the head monsters.
Sure.
They were fine.
But that's what I was going to say. This movie also sets up the trope that there's a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher every movie.
Right.
And they either get fired or they turn out to be a werewolf or they're a monster or
Yep.
they're a different guy pretending to, like, they're David Tennant. It's not important. But you remember that one?
Sort of.
Yeah. But the reason is because Voldemort went for that job when just before he rose to power, he went to Dumbledore and he was like, "Hey, I want to be the wizard. I want to be the head of Defense Against the Dark Arts." And Dumbledore's like, "You know what? I heard you're not a great bloke, so no." And because of that, Voldemort cursed the position, and so no one can hold it for more than a year.
Huh.
I don't know what happened prior to this year.
Yeah.
I don't know but everybody only gets it for a year. Snape has it for a year.
Yep.
Yeah, they all can't hold on to it. And that curse
Interesting.
breaks after the Voldemort is killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But the reason also, he didn't actually want the job. He just wanted to get into the school to hide a locket which had his soul in
Are
it.
there any specifics as to how the curse works? Does it mean they only hire incompetent people?
No, there's all manner. There's they hire Lupin, who's a friend of.
It's weird that they didn't ask Kenneth Branagh's character to do anything, to like do any magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe it was a last minute kind of.
Maybe
grab.
the only test is they're like, can you wipe somebody's memory for us real quick? That's the test for everyone. And he's like, oh, he's going in there like sweating. He's got the flop sweats and he's like, oh, and then like, can you wipe somebody's memory? And he's like, yes, I can.
Yeah, you better believe it. But Mason, before we get off Harry Potter and talk about something that you're interested in,
I'm kind of interested now. I'm going to watch the third one.
you can't yet. You have to wait.
No, but that's what I mean as a requirement of this. I'm not I'm not going to do it on my own.
But like I said, they're really good at setting up the future, and the reason is because J.K. Rowling stepped in and put a lot of rules down that they
Okay.
need to follow by. So if you'll indulge me, Mason.
So there's rules to the making of the movies, but there's no rules within the actual.
there's absolutely rules.
All right.
So like the rat is around from like day one.
Yeah. Okay. And
Hor-
it turns out to be a peeping Tom Creek.
That's
man.
right.
Yep.
Horcruxes, as we mentioned, have always been a thing throughout the series.
Yep.
Sirius Black, who's in Azkaban, and Harry Potter's godfather, who they think betrayed Harry Potter, but it was actually the rat, is mentioned in like the first scene. You know that bike that Hagrid arrives
Hey,
on?
it wasn't me. It was a man who turned into a rat. Like we've actually seen people do before, change into things. Look, we've all got magic powers. Just believe me, this one time it wasn't me. It was a guy turned into a rat. No,
Well, because
you're going to jail.
because the rat man cut his finger off and left it there, and they thought that he exploded him, and that was all that was left. So the rat man got out of it that way.
Is the rat also missing a finger?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, pretty good.
very
right?
good.
And the reason he comes back, like he breaks out, because he's happy to sit in Azkaban because he's happy that he killed the guy that got Harry's parents killed.
Right.
So he's like, fine, whatever. I'll take the bullet. Until he sees a picture of Ron with a rat, and then he's like, shit. and then he breaks out.
Right.
And the rat man goes on to help Voldemort return. He's a bad bloke. And then his silver hand chokes him to death. It's a crazy story.
It's a crazy world, isn't it? So it was fun.
But but no, he's name dropped because that bike that Hagrid arrives on, that's Sirius Black's bike.
Oh.
So that's before.
Did he call it Sirius Bike?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But also, like, initially, like,
Can you still got a motorcycle with a sidecar?
yeah, man, you see him
I'd
every now
I'd
and
like
then.
to ride a motorcycle.
But in a sidecar.
No, but I'd die immediately if I rode a motorcycle. But
Sure.
if I had one with a sidecar, there's a bit of extra
Bit of
balance
stability.
there.
Can I be in the sidecar?
Yeah, you can be in the sidecar.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
There's also been a switch on the sidecar, and if I push it, it's got a rocket in it.
Okay, good.
You rocket into the back of James Bond's car. That's how it works. Are you willing? It'll be fun though.
I'm
What a
happy.
way to go.
Yeah, and exactly. If I'm going to go out, I may as well be that.
Mm-hmm.
But like they were planning, and the studio was initially going to combine a few books into one
Mm-hmm.
and do it as an animated thing. And Spielberg was talking about doing it. Like I think he nearly signed on, but he also saw it as not really a challenge. He's like, this is a slam dunk movie.
Oh,
So
I
don't
see.
really-
Right,
I don't really
okay.
want to do it. So
Wow.
he did AI. But the other,
Steven Smugberg, if you ask me. But yeah, he did AI. What a slam dunk that movie was.
well, that's what I'm saying. He went and did a risk, like
Hmm.
made a, and there's, I think that movie's a lot better than it kind of got credit for at the
Is
time.
it good though?
I'd have to go back.
So no. If you thought it was good, you'd say yes.
No, you know what? I don't hate it, but I'd have to see it again.
Okay.
Yeah. But also, she put in place the all British cast rule. Mm-hmm. They hired a guy called Liam Aiken for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They hired him, and then a few days later, they fired him because he wasn't
What's
British.
it? I hesitate to ask this, but what's he doing now?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell ya.
It's probably for the best.
Robin-
Nobody look that up. Don't look up. Don't look up. Like idol winners.
No.
Don't look up pop groups.
Like random? Do you remember you gave me their CD?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't look. Actually, interesting. A couple of weeks ago, I met Andrew Levins. He's one of the hosts of the podcast Hey Fam, which is a podcast which is about movies and TV shows and comic books. And
What?
If you can imagine a podcast. If you can imagine this podcast but hosted by two cool guys, that's Hey Fam.
Okay.
As opposed to this podcast which is hosted by only one cool guy. Which one of us is it? Who knows?
Is it me?
Look, I'm not going to say who it is, but if you'll notice that my baseball cap is turned all the way backwards.
Shit, I don't even have a hat.
Anyway, so Levins is a DJ
Yeah.
by trade, and he was saying that when they come to town, he's going to be like the support DJ for the Venga Boys. So he's going to be on that Venga bus, but also S Club 7, British pop group S Club
God.
7, who are currently S Club 3. Right? Because there's no good way that comes out, right? Because either they'd all broken up and gone their separate ways.
Yeah.
And the record company had called them all and said, do you want to be in this reunion?
Yeah.
And only 3 of them had said yes. So that's bad either way. Or various
dead.
members, all various members have like left, and like the remaining 3 have continued to tour for like the past 10 years.
Maybe there's 2 S Club set. There's S
Oh,
Club
maybe there's
3
a 3 and a
S Club
4, and they compete. They do opposing coasts, maybe. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, everybody should listen to Hey Fam. That's a good
Okay,
podcast,
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. What was I going to say? So, yeah, she had a condition of all British cast. So, Robin Williams and Rosie O'Donnell wanted to be the Weasleys, and that was vetoed.
Huh.
That, I
The
don't-
Weasleys, not the Dursleys.
No.
They'd be better Dursleys, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So, also, she told Alan Rickman Snape's backstory from the very beginning that he
Oh,
was in
wow.
love with so-and-so. So, he always kind of knew
Well, he's
that.
got that twinkle in his eye.
Exactly. And also, Spielberg wanted Haley Joel Osment for Harry Potter, which ended up using him in AI. But I'm glad they didn't go that way because I like that guy. I think he's a good actor, and he's kind of cropping up again. He's back, but no, the chances that they cast it this well and most of them lived through it or didn't,
Right, exactly,
or didn't
yeah.
bottle somebody in a riot,
Exactly,
is-
yeah.
is phenomenal,
Isn't it though? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is because J.K. Rowling's went, no, she didn't just take the paycheck, she set it up right.
Yeah.
There were rules in place, and this is kind of how it played out. And look, I know, like, we shit on these movies, but I genuinely
What?
think
I've been as positive as I can in this.
I think they're really great foundations for much better movies down the line.
I think you're probably right.
And they're good kids movies. They really are.
Yeah, I guess had I seen
Yeah.
these as a kid, I would not have been critical.
Yeah.
Everything would have been amazing.
Yeah, totally. So all in all, I don't like them.
But here's to 3 more episodes of this, at least.
Yeah, good stuff. Anything else?
That'll do it, I think.
Let's go to the next segment,
Oh,
Mason.
next segment.
What we reading?
What we gonna read?
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? I'd love to know what you're reading.
You know what I was reading this week, and I'm going to say on the topic of magic, but that's a very loose. You know, I don't know if I've mentioned in the past that I really enjoyed the Big Trouble in Little China comics.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
And some of them were written by John Carpenter, I think, and they're very
Yes.
much in the voice of Jack Burton,
I
like
need
the
to
main
see that.
character.
I need to
Very
see
good.
that movie.
But this week, I think what came out and I read and I enjoyed a lot was the Big Trouble in Little China Escape from New York crossover.
Oh my
Issue
God.
1. That's right.
How does that work?
It's Kurt Russell and magic.
Ah.
So Kurt Russell's driving the Pork Chop Express, and there's some trouble happening.
Good.
And he goes through a portal and he ends up in the far-flung future of 2001, where he meets and comes to blows with Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Who's the better? Who's stronger or better? Or
Well, that's a good question. I feel Snake Plissken is a killer.
Yeah.
Like he's a moral free zone and a killer.
Yeah.
But Jack Burton has a certain. He's got great reflexes.
je
and
ne
a
sais
certain,
quoi?
yeah, and he's got a certain. That's exactly right. And he's a good luck charm.
Yeah.
Things happen to go his way, but it's fun. The art is great.
Are they like You Look Just Like Me? Is there any of that?
Yeah, there is.
Who's the artist on that?
There's a
That's
case.
really
There's a
good.
case of mistaken identity. It's Daniel Bayliss, who I don't know from other things, but he's
really
very.
good.
It's very cartoonish.
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at that. Look at that brick-headed. Look at that brick-headed Jack Burton. But it's fun. It's good, especially in the sense that they are the same guy being played by the same actor, but there's very distinct look.
Are they designed
Yeah,
differently?
they're very
Oh, that's
designed
cool.
very
Is
distinctly.
Snake more lithe?
They're
and
about.
what's
They're about. Yeah, a
They're
little
not
bit.
both brickish, is what I'm saying.
They're about the same.
Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
but it's fun so far.
Great.
I'm looking forward to it.
Good
the rest
stuff.
Of it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I've checked out the first episode of Supergirl, which saw
New
the
season?
New season, which
Okay.
saw this return of Superman.
Oh yeah.
The first, sorry, not the return. He's just in it.
Uh-huh.
First of all, they both do really good jobs in their particular characters.
Uh-huh.
I think she's very kind of charming and she fits the role really well, and
Uh-huh.
she's fun, and you believe it. And I don't think I've said this before, he doesn't look the part as much as say Henry Cavill
Mm-hmm.
does, but he nails the old school values and charm and all that kind
I'm
of
sensing
stuff.
a butt here, and it's not just Tyler Hoechlin's amazing butt.
No, it's
What's the butt?
okay. Look, it's just the same as all of these CW shows. Like,
Yep.
there's a wacky science team and it's villain of the week and whatever, and there's the quippy guy, and you know what I mean,
And the handsome guy.
and so and so's fangirling out because he met his favorite character and whatever.
You've
and-
not seen any of the previous Supergirl stuff?
No, I haven't.
Okay, right.
And I'm sure it's all that. But look, I'm not saying maybe it's not. I'm not saying it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I don't think I'm going to stick with it.
Is there any Martian Manhunter action in this one?
Yeah, a little bit, and he
Okay.
looks great as well. Yeah, look, everybody's good in it,
Yep.
and I get why people like it. Mm-hmm. I just don't think this is something that I'm going to continue with.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
What else am I? Hang on. There's some other stuff I've got. Oh, I've got Westworld and
Oh, you checked it out?
No, I haven't checked it out yet. I've got to
Okay.
load it up. I've got episode 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ready to go.
Apparently, they explain. Did you see that tweet?
A lot of people have told me there is going to be a Ghost Rider Ghost
Oh,
Rider's,
that.
I'm going to say there's Ghost Rider's Dodge Charger versus Agent Coulson's
Yeah.
Lola. There's going to be a race.
Absolutely.
I hope somebody's dropping their scarf to set it go to set it up. It's going to be Grease style. I hope. That's all I'm hoping. I don't know. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that somebody pointed out on Twitter that in the third episode they use an EMP and somebody explains.
I'll explain how an EMP
yeah.
works. People, we understand what an EMP does. Everybody knows.
And even if you don't, when it goes off,
You'll
you
get it. Yeah. It's not a turn things into nighttime bomb. It's a turn off electronics bomb.
That'd be a good. Turn things into nighttime bomb.
Well, that's Dr. Midnight's.
Oh, is it?
Blackout bomb.
Does it actually turn the rotate the Earth?
Of the Earth, no, I don't
It
think
just
so.
like blacks
no.
out a room.
Yeah.
I guess that's all right then.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, got anything else, or is
No,
that just that's what
that's
you
it.
got lined
Maybe next
up?
segment.
Great.
Classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. I know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
Good work, Mason.
Thank you.
I actually had some more What We readings, but I'll save them for next week.
Oh,
Mason.
okay.
I can't go past the letters thing.
That's right. Rules are rules.
Rules are rules. This is from Stephen Stanke, 88 on Twitter. If you want to reach the show, hashtag Weekly Planet Pod.
Please.
We'll pick out a few. I've actually got 4 this week, Mason, because there's a couple that tie in. What's the betting?
This is unprecedented. Except for all the old episodes where we just did like 900 letters every week.
What's the betting that in the new Power Rangers movie, someone's ringtone will go off and it will be the original theme?
100%.
Sure, yeah. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still looking forward to it.
Me
you know what
too.
is interesting? Max Landis, I think... I'm not
He is
sure-
interesting.
I'm not sure if he's getting a story credit, but he went in on and wrote for the initial pitch for it. Because you know how we were like, this is Chronicle.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
So he apparently like pitched this poppy kind of fun, kind of throwback, teens having a good time, kind of Power Rangers movie. And then he was kind of let go or left the project, bit of both. And then he turned around and they just made Chronicle.
Oh, wow, okay.
So yeah, that's interesting. So do you
is
reckon they got
interesting.
him to be like, do Chronicle? And he went, no, I want to do this. And then they were like, nah,
We'll just try that
we'll
thing
just
you
do
did.
Chronicle. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So
I guess they were like, well, maybe they were like, you know what, maybe they were like, well, he can come in and work his magic.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, but then they're like, he's just a regular guy. Now we've got him in here. He's just a regular guy with weird hair. We can do what he does. You're
Exactly.
out.
You're out, kid. Or you're 30, however old he is.
Yeah.
Also, this is another Power Rangers question from Matt_Zunich. Thoughts on the Power Rangers / Justice League comic book crossover? Do you hear about that? It's on the way.
Wait, sorry, say the first one again.
Justice League and Power Rangers comic book crossover.
Oh. Yeah, I'd read that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It looks like the old school kind of Power Rangers costumes. No?
Uh,
It's comic form. So
yeah,
it's not
fine.
going
Yeah,
to be
that's
like
true.
blocky.
yeah, that's
bloody
true. Yeah, all right.
Robots hitting each other. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see the Power Rangers and we'll see the Power Rangers Megazord and the Superman Batman composite robot. Remember that? It's
Okay,
half and
sure,
half and
yeah.
it's giant.
I thought they were just going to crash their space base into it.
Yeah, they'll do it too, yeah.
Because they don't have a giant robot generally, do they?
Generally not, no.
How do you think that's going to go? Do you think they're going to battle it in the sky or whatever?
Well, is it necessarily going to be versus? I mean, there'll be a
Initially,
brief, there'll be a brief
definitely,
battle. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd have to be, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be a fight. In
I
the
think
sky.
Superman could just take the head off that thing quite easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just punch all the way through it.
Is it magic?
No.
Isn't it?
Oh God, what?
Because there is magic in that world.
Oh yeah, but what if that's just technology?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do an episode on it, but not know what's going on.
Okay, great. People
Yeah.
love that.
Here we go. What do we got? This is from Sterling Ruiz, at Sterling Silver, and then an underscore on Twitter, #WeeklyPlanetPod. Listen to an old Spider-Man episode. What are your thoughts on a Spider-Man Daredevil movie? I want to see it.
A lot of people are keen for that.
Yeah. Do you think it works
No,
with the two versions that they've built at the moment?
no, because it's just Daredevil is just. It's just a really long corridor fight. It's just a brutal corridor fight. Where's Spider-Man going to stick?
Yeah.
Top of the corridor? It's very...
Daredevil's way more street level than he is in the comics.
Yeah.
Or even the previous Daredevil movie where he's
Yeah.
pretty much Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very street level. He's not jumping over rooftops. He's struggling over rooftops.
Yes, he is, yeah.
He's scrabbling
He's
over
getting
them.
stabbed over rooftops and
yeah.
falling into a bloody bag of trash or whatever.
Yeah. I guess because even...
Couldn't you enhance his kind of swinging abilities and that would work more? But even then, he doesn't have the speed of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, he's got one billy club and he can... Like Spider-Man can fire like multiple webs, and he's got one billy club.
And Spider-Man's already in that upper echelon of Marvel heroes now. He's fighting with the Avengers. Daredevil's just nah.
I think there's a way to make it work.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
With the current incarnation of Daredevil in particular, I don't see how he would help Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like I feel it'd be like putting the Bale Nolan Batman in the current Justice League. It wouldn't work. Or having him fight Superman. It wouldn't work.
Exactly. Yeah, but I'm not against it because I think they're a great team. I would like to see a Doctor Strange Spider-Man team up because they're mates in the comics. Spider-Man's always coming in through his weird circular window and being like, "What's up? Let's hang out," and that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind.
And also,
that.
The problem with this current, well, it's not a problem, but with this current
It's a massive problem.
He's just, it's all grit and tragedy.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's got some tragedy, but it's, I guess the idea might be that they meet up and Spider-Man's full of hope and optimism, and Daredevil's just like, no, everyone we know
Daredevil's
is
been
dead.
stabbed.
Yeah. Everyone who knows been stabbed. That's life in the streets, man.
In the streets of Harlem. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, no,
Is the
Sterling.
answer? Yeah.
We don't want it.
I want it.
Or we're okay with it.
No, I don't want it.
Okay. This is from at Ben_Bob118. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. I'd be surprised if you haven't mentioned this already, but Firefly thoughts. Maybe you could do an episode.
Maybe we could.
I could definitely do a Firefly episode. Do you think we should wait until they announce a Firefly thing?
Yes.
So it could be anywhere between now and...
Until the sun burns out.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe never.
Yeah, let's give it a bit. Mm-hmm. And then maybe when if they announce something, we'll do it. If not, we'll just do it anyway. Because it's a great show or movie.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it a lot at the time.
Have you, not so much now, Mason. Slap in the face.
I
There he goes.
I don't even know the last time I watched it.
There he goes.
Wow,
Off again
yeah.
on his usual vendettas and rants.
I'm full
Typical.
of hate. That's the thing. I'm just full of hate.
I saw Serenity before I saw Firefly.
Did it
and
make
then I
any
went
sense?
back. Yeah, totally. That movie works as a standalone.
I agree.
feel. Apparently all
And
the...
it's got the great Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Correct. Apparently all the follow-up comics are just kind of okay. From what
Yeah,
I've
I
heard.
read one.
Leaves in the Wind?
Yeah, it was it was kind of a prequel. It was about Wash.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
heard it here first.
Hate it. Vendetta. Settled.
Good stuff. I think that's all the letters that we got for this week, though, which means it's time for the end of the show. Oh, just quickly,
Yes.
I had an episode of Plumbing the Death Star where we talk about how we would take out Superman
Oh, yeah?
in the comic book universe or movie universe, and that was a lot of fun. Check it out, Mason.
I will.
Plumbing the Death Star. The other thing is, Jose's having a bit of a rough time at the moment, bit of a shit time.
Friend of the show, Jose.
Friend of the show, yes. I hope things are looking up. And what's this? Jason
Oh, what's this?
at the real Jason Dell is getting married this weekend. Can you have a shout out?
Shout out to him. Congratulations.
You used to shout.
Is he the real?
shout-outs.
Is he the real Jason Dell though?
Apparently.
All right.
I mean, how else do you get that?
Right,
handle?
that's true. That's
You
actually
have to
very true.
Fill out a series of forms.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, good stuff.
Shout out.
Oh, also, there's a new Weekly Planet comic.
Oh,
by
there is
Ben
too. Yep.
Davies
Yep.
That's worth checking out. Wait,
Who are we fighting this time?
you haven't read it yet?
No.
Well, I won't spoil it, Mason.
Okay, great.
But it's good. I love it. I love the art. I love the writing. Mm-hmm. I love that we're in it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Oh, also, there's going to be a Caravan of Garbage episode this week. A
Yes,
bonus
there
one.
is.
That's
On the YouTubes.
correct. I'm going to put it up on the Patreon early, but if you just hang out till Thursday, it'll
Appear
be
as
there.
if by magic.
Yeah, but if you want to check that out early, I'll put up in the next.
And let me
couple of
tell
days.
you, looks pretty good because of nothing we did.
That's correct. Yeah, but it's Star Wars related, and let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Mason. Let's just leave it at that. Anything else?
No,
Do
that's
all the
it, I think.
things that happens at the end of the show.
Let's see. You can find us at Weekly Planet Pod on Facebook and Twitter and Gmail and Bandcamp.
Yep.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies.
You can also follow The Weekly Planet for all the best Weekly Planet related news.
Yeah.
If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/MrSundayMovies. You'll get that Caravan of Garbage a little bit early.
Correct.
You can go to our Amazon affiliate link, which is in the episode description. You click through to go to Amazon if you want to buy yourself a bloody...
It's just, anything.
Yeah.
And anything.
A huge piece of farming equipment. that'd solve all our financial problems, I
Bloody
feel.
oath it would, mate.
You can buy anything on Amazon. It's amazing.
Oh, I should mention the thing, the Caravan of Garbage is only video format.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And you'll see why.
Yeah.
When it's there. Anyway,
Because it's a video.
Yeah, yes, that's why.
What else? What do we talk? Oh, we got some teas on
Yep.
tpublic.com.
That's linked below.
Yeah.
Yep.
all our amazing artists have
Yep.
put together some great teas.
Also, the sponsors that we mentioned, both MacBot and Loot Crate,
Good on them.
we're bloody into it. If you want to help the show, you can grab any of those.
Yeah,
if
thanks
you
to
want.
everybody who's done any of these dumb things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just listening.
Yeah.
Or subscribing and leaving a nice review. Also helps, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Thank you, the Brute and the Basilisk and the Arachne for all our themes.
How fitting that the Basilisk was also in the Harry Potter movie that we talked about.
Very fitting.
Yeah.
Very.
Very. Mm-hmm. And did you say you can, and if you follow at The Weekly Planet,
Yeah, that's a good
everything we ever do goes up
one. Goes
there.
on there, yeah.
Not because of us,
No.
because of good old Raw Collings. Crushing it.
Crush it.
Just knocking it out of the park. Next week, Mason, what are we doing?
Oh, good question. Somebody on Twitter, and I forget their name, so I'm sorry, suggested maybe worst series endings.
I like that.
That might be a good one.
Lost.
How I Met Your Mother.
How did you meet your mother? My mother.
Came over to your house one time, she yelled at me. Probably, I don't know why, but probably for no reason, if I had to guess.
That sounds like her.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Do you want me to hit her with a brick?
I've thought about it. She doesn't listen to this, right?
Let's find out.
Well, tell her to listen to this one, and I've thought about hitting you with a brick. Nah, she's all right.
Okay, maybe we'll do that next week unless something happens.
Yeah,
We'll do
nice.
something else.
Cool, man.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Grab that gem, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.